Hello, you guys. So I'm just going to get right into this. Now stick around to the end because I want to show you a couple things, some little tricks and tips that I've been learning. And so stick around to the end for that because I want to show you a couple things that will be helpful for your grocery bill. So I'm going to be looking down because I have a list right here. So the number one thing you can do is know what you have before you go shopping, right? Saving money at the grocery store starts before you ever even leave your house. So the next thing is when you do get to the grocery store, looking above your eye level and then below your eye level, right? So the main part of the grocery aisle is at your eye level. And that's what these different companies pay a fortune for, that space right there. So if you look above and below, you're likely to save quite a bit of money. And generally, that's where the generics of something are, or a brand you've never heard of. But a lot of times it's a lot cheaper. So the next one is shopping the cheapest store in your area. I shop at Winco. I don't have an Aldi. I know a lot of people do. And also our Walmart is not a super Walmart. So the grocery items in Walmart are really pretty limited. So I shop at Winco because that's what we have here. It's a great store. It has bulk items, all kinds of things. But just looking at the stores in your area, like you may be shopping at, Fred Meyer, maybe a Whole Foods, any of that. Not to say there's anything wrong with them. It's just that they're going to be more expensive to shop there faithfully all the time for all of all the things you need than it would be if you were shopping at an Aldi, a Winco, something like that. Or a grocery outlet, that's another thing. But looking at what's available in your area, as far as maybe a grocery outlet, or some sort of a grocery discount store, grocery salvage, something like that. That's also a really great idea. We don't have anything like that here. Well, we do have a grocery outlet, but we don't have like a grocery salvage or anything like that. So the next one is utilizing grocery pickup. Now, if you have an issue with going over your grocery budget or the amount of money you brought to, do your shopping, this one is a big deal because you just fill it out all online. You know exactly how much you're going to pay. You never step foot in the store. It would save a lot of money if that's an area that you're still struggling with. I know it was with me a long time ago. When we were getting out of debt, I had a grocery envelope. I still have a grocery envelope. I never did get over that, but now I am not as prone to just go wild at the grocery store. But I still use a grocery envelope because it just keeps me in check. So the next one would be check for markdowns at your store. If you do go in, make sure you check. This is going to sound obvious, but if you're looking for freezer markdowns, they're going to be in the freezer. If you're looking for, dairy, all of that kind of stuff, it's going to be in the dairy section. If you're looking for meat markdowns, obviously it's going to be in the meat section. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of times you think markdowns, you think they're going to be in the back of the store. Well, if it's in the freezer area, that's where it's going to be, right? So that's where we need to look. But definitely checking all of the spots in your store for markdowns will save you a lot of money if you can find anything that your family would use up. The next one is shopping sales as much as possible. Again, this is kind of like a duh, but right? But the thing is if you are paying attention to the sales weekly, it's going to get to and you're actually utilizing those sales, it's going to get to the point where you aren't paying full price for hardly anything because you're buying your meat on sale. You're buying some produce. It's in season. You're buying it on sale. You're sticking it in the freezer or doing whatever you're going to do with it. So that's something, is definitely shopping sales as much as you possibly can. And just remember that the new sales start over on Wednesdays at the grocery stores. So that's when you want to look. And, if you could, that would be a great day to go grocery shopping because then they're not out of the things that they have in the sales flyers. I go grocery shopping on Fridays and sometimes they're already out. So Wednesdays would be a good day to go if you could swing it. Okay, The next thing is buying more than what you need, right? So let's say you're out of refried beans. This just happened to me. That's why I'm using that for an example. So I had one more can of refried beans. So when I went to the store, I looked, I had it on my list, and it was $1. And generally they're $1.96, $1.97, somewhere around there. And so I was able to get 12. That's what I got. Because now I don't have to buy refried beans probably for the whole year. Like, I'm done. It's over. I don't need any more, right? So that's an important thing. So what I generally do is I at least buy one for my refrigerator, one for the pantry, and then one for like a long-term storage. So that's at least 3. That's what I generally do. Okay. Next thing is instead of buying broth, you buy the box or the can or whatever. Instead of buying that, because it's generally more expensive, it's harder to store, you could do a bouillon instead. And also you could also do, what I was talking about was the little beef bouillons or the little cubes or the powder or whatever. But they also have the better than bouillon that you just put in your fridge and it lasts forever. But I just do the bouillon cubes or the bouillon powder, and that way it doesn't take any, space up. It's not taking up a big space that for cans or the box or whatever. And the other thing is organizing your food. This is so important. So that way you know what you have, right? You have it all in the areas that it goes in. So if you're taking stock and you're looking to see, what do I need as far as baking goods? It's December, it's November. That's when all the baking goods are on sale. What do I need that I could stock up on? You know exactly where to go instead of, like going all in your pantry. You can't find anything. Everything's all mixed up. Definitely making sure that your food is organized, or at least semi-organized. Okay. And then keeping a running list on the refrigerator. I don't know if you can see it. This is my list that I have. And I use it and I take it with me, or I'll take a picture of it and then, obviously take that picture with me to the store. It's amazing. It saves me so much money. And also what it does is I know if there's not very many things on that list, sometimes I don't necessarily even need to go to the grocery store other than maybe some produce items. But then while I'm there, I'll see what's on sale and whatever, and I will try to stock up on some things while I'm already there. And if it's a great sale item, like those refried beans I was saying, great time to stock up on it. And that also was another time that I didn't have a whole lot of stuff to get at the store. So that was perfect. I had room in my grocery budget for that. So the next one is when you open the last one of something, that's when you want to put it on the list. So you never want to run out of things. You want to, for example, we used the refried beans again. We had one more on the shelf. And I know that within the next week, I'm going to use that one up. So I needed to get some, but that went on the list. And if it was something where I grabbed the last one out of the pantry, when I grab that last one out of the pantry, it goes on the list. So just making sure that you're not running out of things, because that's when it costs you a fortune, when you have to run down to, the little market, or you got to go all the way into town or whatever. I live half an hour out of town. So, and we do have a couple little stores, but those little stores charge so much for the convenience of having them here, So I try as much as possible to not run out of things. So the next one is, when you do make a meal, make enough for another meal, right? So maybe not an extra dinner to put in the freezer, but maybe you make enough to where you have enough for lunches. Or maybe you have enough to have for breakfast tomorrow. Say if you're, making breakfast for dinner, make a little extra, have it for breakfast tomorrow. Just trying to make more than what you're going to eat right then, because then it just saves you a hassle later, and you've already dirtied the dishes. So, you don't have to do that again, right? All right, so the next one is having a grocery budget to start with, right? Making that grocery budget and actually having an idea in your head of what you have available to spend. And that's where that envelope comes in, because that keeps you in check. You can only spend what's in this envelope, right? And so that is very, very useful for everybody, but especially if you tend to overspend, or if you are well, I'm just going to see what's at the store. Guaranteed, you go in for toothpaste and you're spending 50 or 60 bucks. Guaranteed. I don't know why that happens. It just does. But if you have a list and you have your budget, you definitely want to make that budget a bill, right? You want to make food a bill. So that needs to be part of your four walls. That's what Dave Ramsey calls it. That is, food, shelter, transportation, utilities, and clothing. It definitely needs to be part of that. And you can go through your last, say, 3 months of statements or whatever, figure out how much you've spent on groceries, and be prepared. Because if you don't know already, sometimes it is a super big shock, right? Whew, $1,200? What? Yeah, it can definitely blow your mind. But make that grocery budget and make it a bill. If you've decided that you're going to spend $1,000 on groceries, awesome. Make that part of your budget and make it a bill to where you have that money, come hell or high water, it doesn't matter, that's in your budget, right? Okay, the next thing is using store apps whenever you can, whenever it makes sense, right? Shopping at Winco, they don't have a store app, but when I do shop at Albertsons or Safeway, they do have apps. And you can save quite a bit of money using those apps, especially if you use grocery pickup. So sometimes they'll have deals where you'll get an extra $15 off of 50 or extra off of 75 or whatever it is. And then sometimes for grocery pickup, they'll have exclusive offers specifically for whatever kind of products they are. And it's very useful if it's something that you use. It's very handy to have all of those. But also, you're able to use coupons that you just put onto your card, and then whenever you run your card, it takes all the money off. It's great. It's kind of the modern day, coupon kind of session. And so back in the day, I used to be the coupon queen. So, but now it's a little different, because for one thing, I don't really buy a lot of the products that they have that they would have coupons for. And also, it got to where it was practically a full-time job. I was all about it. So let me know down in the comments. Were you also a coupon queen? And are you still? The next one is buying in bulk whenever you can. Now, when I say buy in bulk, I don't necessarily mean Costco. I mean buying in the bulk section at your store. For example, if you need garlic powder, right? It is dirt cheap in the bulk section, but if you're gonna buy the McCormick or whatever kind of brand name in the little container, it's already done or whatever, it is less than half price to buy it in the bulk section. It is so cheap. And then just put it in a little jar and you have it, and you didn't have to pay for the packaging. So that's something to think about. And also maybe shopping at a store, going out of your way to shop at a store that does have like the bulk area where you can get stuff out of the bulk bins or out of the little containers or whatever, because it will save you a ton of money doing that. Okay, and the next one is learning how to store your food, your produce, your meat, your dairy, all of that. Learning how to store it properly to where it's not going to go bad on you, and it will last for as long as possible, so that we don't have a whole bunch of waste that we're throwing away, because the most expensive groceries in the world are the ones that we throw away, right? Okay, and then also, I guess the biggest thing is realizing that probably more than half of saving money at the grocery store starts before you ever leave, right? Okay, so now is the part where I was going to show you a few things just to give you some tips and some ideas of some different things that you can do. So stick with me. Okay, this is what my fridge looks like right now. So this is some cilantro, and this is my 3rd week of having this cilantro in here. And so what it is when I got home, I washed it with some vinegar and some water, and I cut a little bit of the ends off and just put some filtered water in there. And you want to use filtered water because a lot of times the water that comes out of our tap will kill these plants. I know that's kind of crazy, right? But use whatever water you drink. If it's filtered water, if it's bottled water, whatever, use that. But this is about 3 weeks old. And so this is how I store it. And this, I mean, as you can see, it's very pretty and it's still perky and everything. And so each week when I go grocery shopping, I will just cut a little bit of the ends off, just like you would like a flower bouquet. Just a little bit so that it soaks up some, keeps soaking up some water. But there's that. You can also use that with parsley and a lot of other herbs. And then I want to show you this. These are mushrooms. They're just in a glass jar. They're not washed. I have a paper towel at the bottom. Just has a regular, jar lid on top. And these also are like 3 or 4 weeks old. And they're still great, but they're not washed. I won't wash them until I use them. But there's so many things. Putting stuff in glass jars. Granted, they don't have to be, canning jars or whatever. You can use, old spaghetti jars or whatever. Just wash them out really good. Make sure they have a good lid. But you can use them. And these will last forever. These are just a bunch of cut up green onions. Some shredded cheese. This is some mango from the other day. Yeah, just amazing. Also, I wanted to show you about the dairy. Okay, so this is some sour cream. Now, I found out that hold on. Let me grab this back here. This sour cream. This is a new sour cream. I have left it open. Obviously, I have one already open. Or I've left it closed, sorry. I don't need to open it because I already have one. But here's the thing. And we're going to have to listen to the ding, but that's fine. Once I open this, open the little seal on the underneath that lid, this plastic starts leaching into whatever is in it once the air hits it. Okay, that's where this jar comes in. When you get yogurt, sour cream, cottage cheese, all of that stuff, put it in a glass jar. It will last, I think, I don't know, a month past its expiration date because there's no air getting in here. It's amazing. It lasts forever. Okay, not really forever, but you know what I mean. And here is some grapes. I know, this is a pretty fancy jar, but we did have a party this last weekend, but I just wanted to show you. I got these a week and a half ago, these grapes. They are still amazing. Just as good as they were when I put them in there. That's what I mean about learning how to store what we have. Here's another tip. When you buy avocados, I don't know if, yeah, you can see that. See the little nub in here? Okay, you want to make sure your avocados have that. Because what that does is it makes it to where oxygen can't get in there and start rotting your avocado. Since I've been doing that, I have not had any issues with my avocados being bad before I get to them. Also, so if I'm not going to eat these avocados, for what, say I buy several of them because there was a great sale, right? I'm going to put them in my refrigerator with citrus, with whatever citrus I have. I happen to have a lot because we do a lot of lemon water. We put oranges in there. We put lemons, limes, grapefruits. We put all that. We have a lot. But let's say you have just a handful of oranges, maybe a lemon and a lime or whatever. Store your avocados with that, right? And then down here, I've got some celery. I didn't do anything special with the celery. I just put it in there, and as I need it, I will wash it then, but we get it for juice. So there's that. Let me see. And then here, what I do is I wash all the produce before I put it in my drawer. That way it's all ready to go. And I have all the vegetables together. The tricky part is the fruit. Here I've got a bunch of apples, and here I have some more apples and some mangoes I just got, a watermelon, some bananas. Clearly I need to make some banana bread, which I will do. Some green onions. This is how I store green onions. When I get them home from the store, I wash them really good, put them in a jar with a little bit of water, and they'll just keep on growing as I use them. They're amazing. But I wanted to show you, I've got a handful of oranges. These are the ones we're using right now for like our water and stuff. And these avocados, I took out of the refrigerator so that they would ripen up, because they will. They'll ripen up when you take them out of the fridge. And that's what I do. I put them all in the fridge originally, and then I take them out a day or two at a time. So, but here's the important part. Your oranges, your bananas, your apples do not go together. That's why I have them spaced so far apart. Usually this is full, but I need to refill it, but you have to keep them far apart from each other because they will make each other go bad. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you as far as like organizing your food. Having like zones for stuff. Like this is all, you know, a lot of my dry goods. Usually we have some cereal up here, but I need to put some more in here. But this is all like breakfast stuff. This is oats, pancake mix, the cereal. I have extra stuff up here. Like extra dry goods, extra snacks. On this part over here is like all the baking area. And then all my canned goods. I've got the, you know, beans, soups, all of that. But I have this organized so that I know exactly what I have. And that just helps a lot because I can look at a glance and see what I need. Instead of having to run through stuff and I can't find anything and stuff's at the back of the cupboard and all that. Okay, so down here in these I have flour and sugar. I was able to get a really good deal on that. One of them was at Costco. Also, they had a really good deal on the King Arthur flour at Winco. So I got some, put them in these buckets, and I'll use them before they go bad. So that's fine. And then over here, I have, like, this is my snack area and my microwave. But over here is like the sweet snacks kind of area. That's some stuff that my husband will take with him to work and whatnot. But I wanted to show you down here how I store my onions. So onions are in this little bag. You can get these at like, I think, where did I get these? I think I got these at the Dollar Tree a long time ago. Anyway, in this bag are my onions. Now, when you buy onions, you want to buy them like this doesn't make any noise, right? It's still hard. That's how you want it to be. Let me see if I can find one back here. This one is making noise, right? That means it's starting to dehydrate. Now, this will be one that I need to use up sooner. But when you're at the store, you want to make sure that the onions that you're purchasing are hard as a rock. Like they have no noise. They're not making any noise. Because that way, they'll last you a lot longer. And I keep them in here because they just need to be covered. You know, so I keep them in this bag. It's perfect. The bag was free. And then over here is where I store my potatoes. And this is just a basket. And I've got a piece of cardboard at the bottom. And then here's my potatoes. And these potatoes I've had in here for at least 3-4 weeks. So, and I have a towel over it because it needs to be kind of dark. But they're not washed. I will wash them when I use them. And I just have the towel over them and then like pushed under there. so that they don't have, you know, as much light as possible stays off of them, but they'll last for a really pretty long time. The other thing with potatoes and onions is they need to stay about 3 feet away from each other because they'll make each other go bad. So I was going to show you in here too. This is where I keep my garlic, is just in with my onions, and they are perfectly fine in there, and they'll stay fine in there for quite some time. So learning how to store these items is very important so that you're not wasting money. So this is kind of my collection of glass that I just, you know, I'll rinse out, or something came in it or whatever. I'll run them through the dishwasher, run the lids through the dishwasher, but this is just a pickle jar. And these are from some pasta sauces that I ran through the dishwasher. You know, I took the labels off and I use those for all kinds of things. But yeah, you don't have to buy the fancy jars or anything. But having the glass is really important because, one, it doesn't leach anything into your food, but also with the proper top, it won't allow any air into your food either. So I hope those tips were helpful, you guys. I plan on doing a full video about some different things that I'm learning and how I store things and all of that kind of stuff. But let me know down in the comments what your top tips to save money at the grocery store is, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.